What the fuck? There's aliens.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been
The
watching you
Goa'uld.
with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others.
We
And what is more,
Exactly.
you carry a
Stop.
weapon that was never
Those
intended
little
for
metal
mortals
things are
to
gonna move
wield.
now.
And you do it so brazenly that there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
That's it, yeah. What's your story, bruh?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
So you're like a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomparably
Oh, so he is an alien.
powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
So they go in with the whole. He's basically an alien that's come down. And yeah, okay. And we're in some kind of spaceship. Oh Jesus! All right. Why do you sound like a man? Who do you look and sound? Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
May I see your true form?
No.
No.
Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Dude, I wanted to see his true form. Shit. Who was the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Your gaze lingers too long.
Who's on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans.
Charon.
Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish.
Okay, what is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What was the wager you made?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago, my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars.
I will say,
We
I did not expect
discovered
this to
your
go
planet
aliens
and
route.
witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential. And persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium.
It's an experiment.
My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward
we messed that
to
one up.
languish here, enduring a 3,000
So he just like these things are him testing to see whether or not
worthy of her faith.
Yeah, to see if you can have like a city
So
where they
that
don't
I
commit
might
sin.
take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime.
1 year.
And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
I like that it wasn't just that you were stuck in the world, it's that they're aliens and you're in a giant social experiment. I wasn't expecting that. I like that there was a twist to the twist. Like the twist of being like, oh, this is actually the afterlife. Like, oh shit. No, it's just in the afterlife. You're actually being abducted by the aliens who are the gods, and you're in a city where they're trying to see if you can live without sin for a year so he can go home. Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names. But perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo,
I think I prefer the
Diana,
Greek
Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres.
Well, maybe just because I know them the best.
My beloved Proserpina.
Maybe I'd prefer the Egyptian ones if I knew them better. So what are the Sumerian versions of them all? Oh god, is Norse in there as well? Did the Norse ones copy from who did the Norse copy? Right, we'll copy the Romans. We'll have our own ones. Stop sinning and let this man go home. I can't stop sinning. Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before.
Yeah, so each wave that comes here, he's sitting there, will they not sin this time? And then new waves
began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
The Tower of Babel, Babel. Who comes in.
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver.
Oh, right, there we go.
A rare
That's why.
element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persepolis along with it.
How do humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place.
He fucked up.
But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories
That's
of
cool.
a dream.
I like.
His tales were committed to writing.
Dooley fucked it all.
Came to be
Fucking
known as
Dooley,
the
man.
Epic of Gilgamesh. These words were twisted and distorted over generations.
That's cool. I like
Later,
that.
the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place.
Yes, every time someone took over it, it got
Then,
more
when
and
the
more.
Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
That's cool. I like that. I like how they kind of tied that into like history and stuff. Yeah, it gets more and more muddled as each person like rewrites it and changes it, and eventually it's like, what even fucking is this anymore? You're responsible for the golden rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
It's the whisper game. In each one it gets more and more crazy. Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet,
She killed the other one
first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city.
Possibly grand, yeah.
But conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
Yeah, you could see and hear the whole time. So you're responsible for destroying all these lives.
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law.
Yeah,
and when you disobey,
this guy's a bit intense. It's pretty intense.
You force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves.
I love what he's wearing. It's like
the means by which you do it.
It's kind of like Egyptian-y, you know? It's like future Egyptian chic. It's like, yeah, I designed my spaceship on kind of like an Egyptian kind of future-esque style. You know? I just watched a lot of Stargate, you know, space Egyptians. Where did these golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize.
Just waiting for his helmet to come over his head now.
The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as the Fierce Furies.
It's the Furies. Why do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on
the
its own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you.
Do unto others as you would do unto yourself.
Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Doesn't lie. The principle is not as easy to apply as it sounds.
For you, perhaps. I've always... No, this should be... Enough. You clearly know nothing. How
do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
So you sin, yeah, I guess it was if you sin, even if you do something you personally treat like a sin, I suppose. I think he was referring to the Christians as cultists, right? Yeah, he referred to as cultists. And I mean, in that place, all the cultists were the Christians and stuff. Also, bearing in mind, our character comes from modern times. So I guess the reason we're with a bunch of Romans is because maybe we just happened to have the coins on us then, and they were like the only two left in modern times.
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Then what an odd question.
I say that you didn't consider sin. How could you let that happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? Or are you going to give me an example?
Suicide.
I have seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others.
Seems like a extremely literal interpretation of the rule.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words.
I would say it does stuff to people, other
helps to
people,
minimize the
emotionally.
ambiguities.
Not physically, but emotionally. Like just for ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and reliable?
Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Alright, and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine
I was
statue.
joking. Oh no. Whoops.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god?
I went
that
too aggressive with a god. Your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, where's the crown? Where's the crown? The hair's gonna fly. Where's the crown? Oh no! I know, I wanted to talk to him a bit more about stuff. I didn't want to actually fight him yet. Where are we? Oh, we're here, okay. Alright, we'll just jump through some of the dialogue here. Oh, cool, I like the Egyptian one. Oh, look at this boy. Muscly as hell. I like the spaceship over there.
And here, allow me to introduce my king. As you wish. It has come to be... It... Of course. That is...
Where do they go?
I'm able to
Yeah, can you save mid-combo? No, I don't think you can.
If... Then what... Do you plan to speak it?
Price gouging for life-saving medicine?
The merchant. How is that inconsistent with the rule I've outlined?
I wouldn't want someone else to demand an outrageous price for the medicine he needed if he was dying.
I disagree. Having watched this merchant, that is precisely what he would expect from others, and he would be quite capable of paying the price anyway.
Ah, interesting.
Now tell me.
Interesting. He believes that the merchant hasn't sinned because the merchant expects the people to do what he does to them and to him anyway. And he's got the money to pay for it. That bondage?
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
He wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of a loan?
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others. Now tell me.
I'm interested in hearing like his things on each of them.
The midwife in the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She didn't want to be experimented upon. She was
The
guilty.
rule is do unto others, meaning other people.
Yeah.
Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happened?
Okay, yeah, so he just doesn't care about it. Seems like a...
Now tell me.
What, abduction?
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape.
That's
a
true.
sin I take particularly seriously. Better
Just
that
what I
he
did.
stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
Fair enough.
Now tell me. I've seen no... Taking one's own life is a self-direct... Therefore... Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal
Yeah, I don't consider them
interpretation
people,
helps
so it's
to
fine
minimize
to
the
just do awful
ambiguities
things
of
to
your
them.
primitive language. Suppose...
Of course not, never mind.
Now tell me.
Okay, so some of the people who say the gods are cruel just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect that they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a tyrant. Interesting.
I should strike you down for that.
If you did, you'd be proving my point.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Like his answer was, huh.
Very well.
That's all the questions I had.
Good. Then now it is time for your reckoning. Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see into the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
You're getting forgetful in your old age? I'm from the future.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, Mon?
Oh, so we are back in time still now.
Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpina has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Shouldn't you know this is the god of the underworld?
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this.
Yeah, that's when you summon him.
It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I did put an end to the golden rule.
Your hubris is amusing, so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here.
I guess you can actually talk your way through this.
Why should I put an end to the so-called golden rule?
If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself? The golden rule is corrupting the city and ensuring you'll never win the wager. It's kind of true.
How so? And be specific. You have made a grave allegation, and I expect you to back it up.
The golden rule sounds like why I got banned from my local leisure centre. Listen, man, I told you, you can't piss in the pool. Decius is priced against for life-saving medicine because he knows that nobody can take it by force. Rufus has become so paranoid that he's jumping at shadows. Melius has trapped people in debt bonds by convincing them rebelling would break your law. Interesting. I'm so paranoid that he's jumping at shadows like Virgil section. I mean, he already considers what they were doing here okay. Just become so paranoid that he's that one?
True. I have witnessed him doing that.
He's jumping shadows like Virgil section.
He is a volatile and confused fellow, that one.
Oh, we can pick each one. Melius has trapped dead people in debt bonds, convincing their rebelling would break your law.
His cruelty does seem to grow greater by the day.
For examples I can think of.
Pathetic.
Oh, okay.
You will need to do a lot better than that.
Alright, fair. If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
And you abduct Proserpina and imprison her here. You've trapped people in the city against their will. You've given terrible punishments to hundreds of people, some for minor sins and some who committed no sins at all. Didn't you abduct Proserpina and imprison her here?
I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was dying, and I intervened the only way I could to save her life. What would you have done?
But didn't she choose to die?
It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did because I loved her. I love her still. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
Okay, I reject your argument. I disagree. Ooh, right, hang on. While an ad's running, I'm just gonna real quickly go grab an apple downstairs because I feel like an apple. All right. You've been trapped people in the city against their will.
These people were all dead when my servant found them. I gave them a second chance at life. Would you prefer to have simply ceased to exist?
Maybe?
Then you still have the option to end your life should you wish, and you are no worse off than if I had not intervened. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
God damn. Alright, you give them terrible punishments to hundreds of people, some for minor sins and some who committed no sins at all.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously.
Oh.
They failed
What?
collectively,
Oh.
and so they were punished collectively.
Okay.
The Romans understand this, as did the Greeks before them.
Shit. This guy looks like B00. Maybe a little bit, yeah. What are you guilty of? Oh, you're guilty of ensuring your peers did not live virtuously. Great. Okay. That's a war crime, bro. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Where I'm from, the collective punishment is considered one of the most egregious crimes there is. The positions were reversed. You wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of the others.
How unfortunate that we are not where you are from.
Okay, yeah, I could see that one coming. If our positions were reversed, you wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of other people.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own?
Oh, okay, fine.
You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated?
You got
Do
me.
you care for
He's
their
got me, I don't.
well-being
I
as
kill
you would
insects
your
all the
fellow
time.
man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them
He's got me
rights?
there. I kill a lot of spiders. No.
Of course not. Because that would be absurd.
Fuck, he's
Just
good,
as
I
it
know.
would be absurd for me to treat your kind.
It's true. It's true. I don't do that. I'll make your kind superior to mine.
Where to begin? Our lifespans exceed yours by thousands of years, in which time we accumulate vast wisdom.
I already
and
know
a
the answer, but I
mastery
want to
of
hear him say it.
technology you cannot begin to imagine.
Yeah, no, I can't be Buddhist. Why does wisdom and talent make you superior?
Because that is the source of our
Burger time!
Puny god.
So you think you're not going to us choose fairly because you're more powerful than us?
You could say
I can't think of a god. What was it the Roman Stoic said? Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you.
my kin have no superiors.
But didn't you just say Jupiter was your leader? There's a hierarchy within your kin.
That is true. Go on.
Thank you, Senhato, for the 16 months. So are you treating humans the way you would wish Jupiter to treat you?
Make your point, mortal.
Are you sure? I'm saying if you can't follow your own rule, how can you expect humans to?
Let me ponder that for a
Oh,
moment.
shit, dude.
If you are right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But
No, I'm not
No.
wrong.
the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a tyrant and a monster?
Wait, I don't. It's like, but then you're right. Then that makes me wrong, and I don't like the idea of being wrong because that would fucking suck. So I disagree with you because if I'm wrong, that means I suck. I love that. That's really good. I feel like he'd get really mad. I don't know if he's not. I feel like he'd get more mad if I said he's human. Yeah, I'm lucky that's the Ukrainian dialogue guy was there on the ground. I feel like he would honestly get more mad if I called him human than if I said the top one.
Your hubris grows tired.
Shit.
You will make a fine statue.
No. Maybe I should have picked the bottom one.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Unless you always end up doing this.
How dare you threaten her?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Yeah. Heh. Yeah. 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 Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Eh. Ah. 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 Open up. Ah. 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 Maybe we can go back again, right? With Persephone's crown on. And she'll like be whispering the answers to us or something. Ah, ah. Yeah, what a scene. Yeah, this has some weird loading things and stuff. Did I get the crown? I did, yes. I may need to ask the philosopher for help here. Wrong time and show Pluto you of Persephone's crown. Oh, interesting. I guess there's two ways to do it.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator? Oh. Yulia. Oh. All right. I'll go.
Ixion turns.
Pluto? That was Pluto, the guy chilling out. In this chair. That was the god of the underworld. He's an alien. Of course.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Coming into the city.
I know. And I'll take care of him. Just go and hide. But not in the empty shrine.
Wait, how did you know I was headed in there?
Yeah, Persephone's just in suspended animation. Yo, what up?
Come and join me by the fire. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
I had this conversation before. I'm going to explain the existence of power quadrupede to people which don't entirely.
I was indeed, but we've never met before, have we? I'm sure I would have remembered. Blessed Lissa, am I losing my memory?
I'm caught in a time loop.
Oh, that's a relief.
Oh, good.
For a moment, I thought it was I who was touched by madness.
How would you persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden rule?
I assume you're asking me this as some kind of amusing hypothetical?
No, I met him, but I wasn't able to persuade him. I'm going to try again.
Extraordinary. Then let me see if I can help you. I suppose first I'd want to gather information. I'd want to know about his reasons for imposing the Golden Rule and what he considers a sin.
We're going to time up.
If I could expose some internal inconsistency in his reasoning, some degree of hypocrisy, I might be able to compel him to change his position. But as a philosopher, the saddest truth I ever learned is that all but the most enlightened opponents are more easily swayed by appeals to emotion than by reason. So the easiest path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it. If he was vain, I might try to flatter him. If he was merciful, I would try to evoke pity. As a last resort, I might figure out what he fears losing above all else, and, if I could, threaten to take it away. Though, of course, that could.
Yeah, I think I
awry.
almost had him the last time.
Now, go quickly while my words are still fresh in your memory.
I might try and do it again, actually, instead of showing him the crown. I was like super duper close. I wonder if picking the human thing... I feel like picking the human thing would have pissed him off, though. Like, I was like, calling him human seems like it would really annoy the Lord of the Underworld. He'd be like, I don't like you calling me human. I'm curious, if we can get back to that dialogue, though, I could try it. And then I've got the crown as a backup, I guess. God damn, that is so loud. Oh no, I have to go really far to talk to Navia. That's like that's a fucking bowl ache to go all the way through that. You had to fight him? Well, we broke the crown, and then we had to run back to go back in time. So we have Persephone's crown now. Well, I guess I could use the plan save to get down, yeah. I don't really think I need to talk to her, though. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can just go through, unless I just want to have everyone okay. But, I mean, I don't really care about the lady who's peeling people's skin off, to be honest. Yeah. Definitely don't free Dooley. Yeah, I think Dooley nicked, like, one of these. I think he was, like, one of those two. So we'll see what happens? What do you mean? Imagine it'll be pretty much the same. I just run it from a different angle.
Yulia.
Citizen.
I actually don't think I can get up there that way. Nah. I guess you maybe, I don't know, maybe you could gold eyes the bush. But only the things, it won't go fully gold. I mean, you might be able to gold it enough to stand in it, but it won't go fully gold because only things with the flowers around them go fully gold. No, you just go straight for it. I'm not going all the way through to see that lady because I don't want to. Yeah, I have to go through the entire thing killing the zombies again. I don't know. I don't think you can get into the shrine anyway. Yeah, you only get into the shrine because the guy with the bow. So yeah, and you have the bow on your back now. So I don't think you would be able to get back into the shrine. So even he doesn't know about the time thing, which is interesting.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce no girl to the Cimmerian, but the one, and what is that there will be time first, as a reward.
See, this is Persephone's crown. Fuck you. I found that very funny. Just fucking fuck. I kind of wanted to talk him through the whole thing, but I mean, I'll do this.
I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
Yeah, I can always read that. Took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you...
Dormammu, I've come to
Worst
bargain.
Most about
Dormammu. I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the golden rule, I will do it.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium, humiliated and alone.
What's it gonna be?
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species'
no.
true colors.
Oh no!
And I see that Persephone is a fool to have ever believed in you at all.
Well,
This has gone on too long. It's time for me to let go of this form of her, of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
why can't we go to Elysium?
Because despicable creatures like you have no
Yeah, this is the technically you win, but you
My
actually...
kin would never allow it. The best I can do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
Let's get this over with.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
I think there might just be a variation on the fourth ending, like I'd imagine.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone.
No,
I'm
I don't
Al.
hear gas. I'm gonna go back and try it again.
Well, here I am.
Just talking out loud.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I just threatened the guy to kill his beloved, so he's like, fuck you and your race, I'm out of here.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
That was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Right behind you. It was me. I did this. You did this? Yeah, I did this.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment.
All right.
You go on ahead.
I am God. It was me.
You're back! But you're alone. Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. Why don't you tell me what you just...
I scared you not said you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry, I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead. As you were exploring there was nothing. He died instantly at that you were. It means there is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody. Perhaps you have heard that. Well, along my orders were simple.
Yeah, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep
This is pretty similar to the other
to
ending.
yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long, I thought...
Kinda lost track of time in there. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But... you two look exhausted.
Sounds good to me.
And you?
Is there 4? Oh, hang on. 1 year later. Yeah, Willy. Yeah, no Willy.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories.
Oh, you mean
about
that
the
is
underworld.
aliens?
Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
From a statue of an unknown man, in an inscrutable pose. One hand seems to welcome and the other warns. Ah!
You're finally here. Remember me?
What the fuck? What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours.
Okay.
Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
You gonna do with yourself these? What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course.
Oh, Dooley's
It's hard
there.
work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't change
You're
it.
in the future. I was like, yeah, this is confusing the shit out of me. I turned up in the future, and I just like honestly, my brain collapsed. Dooley's fine. Dooley doesn't understand what's going on anyway. You're with Equidia now?
I know. I can't believe my luck either.
Oh, is Equidia
But
the one
we're
you were?
engaged and living together.
Oh, okay.
We're planning to get married next
Okay.
spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
Love it. Wait, hang on a minute. I didn't. Oh, I guess Equidia was the one that he wrote the letter about.
Of course. There's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you. So you'd better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you.
Damn, you've embraced the. You've definitely embraced the clothing of this era.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting.
Damn.
We've just bought
Didn't
a
waste any
lovely
time,
villa
did
in
you?
the countryside, with room for a
They've only been
large
back a
family.
year.
And Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined.
But that
We're
means
just so thankful for what you did for
Galerius,
us, for all of us.
my man. And then what happens is Dooley and Galerius end up in a mice of men situation, and that's how the book began.
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do just that. See you again.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
Hello. I remember who you are, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things.
You've got a bag that says
brushing
speed
my
on it.
teeth.
That's why you never find your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories.
A TV. I'm gonna take a guess. It's TV.
Favorite thing.
Story boxes are great, aren't they?
Yeah, they're fun.
See you again, Dooley.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, it could be a radio. TV might break his hand. Might break his mind. I don't know. I feel like TV would keep him more entertained.
Hey,
Oh, it's wait, that's Sentia. Oh yeah, Sentia.
Evening.
This is Horatius.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Yeah, Horatius.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Centilla with us as well. So, thank you.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters. but our guides.
So we never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks.
Happened to your buddy Domitius.
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament.
I can imagine him doing the UFC.
Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it. You know what they say.
Entered the UFC, got disqualified, started an underground fight club, and died, basically. Sounds like he got what he deserved.
You're not wrong.
Good to see you again. Oh,
I'm living up north.
Wrong. Good to see you again.
And you. Farewell.
Okay, what we got over here? Now, Sentia is the horrible lady who's always mean to us.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
See you again.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia.
Oh.
I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time.
Yeah.
But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
Why do I get the feeling he's going to be a golden statue somewhere? What are you doing with yourself these days?
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
I see you've adapted well to life. What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Oh, Alexa! She means literally like Alexa, like fucking the Amazon thing. I've always meant an actual someone. I didn't realize she meant. That's actually way funnier. She just sits in her house, just ordering things for a fucking Alexa. That's hilarious. That did not click with me then. I thought she just got a fucking servant called Alexa. That's really funny. He didn't once tell me he wanted to live forever.
Then I suppose he got his wish.
Well, yeah.
You too. See you around.
Hello. You're the Oracle, right?
Crandall
Oh,
is
of
fine.
course. Sorry.
Please call me Crandall.
And
Forgot I
I
named
never
my
got a
character
chance
that.
to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
What are you doing yourself?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
studying
nice.
English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable.
Comfortable?
Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course.
Comfortable
I'm
question
just
mark,
so
exclamation?
excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that.
Yeah, these
One
people would be
day.
like, oh my god, this world is amazing. Holy shit, look at all the things I can do now. Look at Alexa, my beautiful summoning robot. It's also terrifying, but like, they'd be like, you can go in a car? What the fuck? Flesh
Last
eyes.
I heard, Malleolus
Ah,
kept insisting
flesh
he was
eyes.
the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Okay.
As for Claudia, She was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
I love that he got committed because he spent his whole time going on about. Okay. I'm the fucking Roman Emperor.
Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life.
Wait, who's
now.
Aurelia?
Even in your time, life still isn't fair.
Oh, Aurelia's the barmaid.
Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place.
Please me, it's Nigeria.
What was it? Nigeria?
Yes!
Some people.
I knew they were going to do that. I was like, oh, please tell me she got fooled by the Nigerian prince scam. Oh, that's so good. Don't worry, sometimes she tells me she's going to get what she deserves.
Well, you are the Oracle. So I suppose I'll take your word for
That's
it.
great. That's great.
I feel better already. Thank you.
God damn, they get fooled.
You too.
I found myself
if
a
you're
Nigerian
ever in London,
prince.
let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
Take you up on that.
I hope so.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yo, what
Lucy
up?
is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd
Yeah, they
never
went
leave
with
us
21st
alone.
century scams.
Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the
I'd
last
imagine
of
they're
them off.
speaking English.
So,
Maybe like, okay, maybe Persephone was like, all right, I'm going to give you all the power to speak English, and, you know, whatever. I can imagine she did some things to help him fit in.
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it.
Everyone
so
speaks
I guess
Latin
I'll
in the
just
world.
keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
It's good to see you.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Hello.
Hey.
Alright, who else have we got? Wait, who's this? Oh, it's the hermit philosopher.
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance.
Hello.
I am Georgius.
Good to see you.
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that, I am most grateful.
What are you doing yourself these days?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps
I like your suit.
one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
I hope the hermit says he spends all his days arguing on Reddit with people. Goes to r/I'm very smart. Consider me there.
You too, my friend.
Fabia.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia. I wanted
Fabia.
to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure. I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
Oh yeah, is the Egyptian guy going to be here? I wonder if he's like, they built even more on top of my people's My people's land. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
She's embraced the 21st century very well. Sounds like a life well spent.
Oh, it really is. You too.
You've embraced things wonderfully.
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
See you too.
Oh, and by the way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What are you doing yourself these days?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but
yeah, I guess if you talk to them
being
before you do
around
it, they
enlightened
recognize
minds
you.
again.
So finger chip is out of reach.
Aha! You remember that? I have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries
imagine
have
you
come
don't get
further
that much
toward
different
utopia than I
dialogue.
ever thought possible.
Like maybe like
Though
variations, like
there's
oh, it's
still a way to
nice to see you again. I agree.
My sincere thanks once again.
I don't know what his real name was. I'd be surprised if he was a Greek philosopher. Don't know. And pick one. Pick and choose one.
Some soiree, innit?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Daisius.
Hello.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
The thank me was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
You do myself.
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in
What?
the stock market.
Oh boy.
That's where the
Oh,
real
he's a
money
stock
is now.
boy.
In
Of
fact,
course
I
he's
was
a
hoping
stock
to
boy.
ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I can't really see the future, I'm afraid.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius.
Storm,
I won't
storm,
take no for an
storms.
answer.
DVD rentals of a bright future. Broadcast television is going to be the next big thing. Print media is going to make a huge comeback. I would say DVD rentals of a bright future. Print media is going to make a huge comeback. Ooh, I don't know which one. Which one's going to really help him out here? They're all pretty. I think you know, DVD rentals. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
We're going
Of
now.
course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
Good evening.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
She's the one who was peeling people, right?
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming
Christian
and
lady. Oh
for
no, she's
saving
the one
our
scrubbing the
lives.
floor. Sorry, yeah.
What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
You doing yourself these days?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
I like her. Sounds like a noble cause.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Ricky Ticky Tavi,
And you.
bitch!
Oh, and
3 years.
I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Sounds good, I'm in.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
We meet again.
Good to see you looking well.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the
Now it's a dating
underworld,
sim.
I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
She's looking rough, yeah. Read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit.
Oh, what a miserable
Men
person.
have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled
Of course
whether
you'd
madness
tell
is or
an
is
Edgar Allan
not
Poe,
the
of course.
loftiest intelligence.
What a joyful... Yeah, she's been reading a shitload of poems. She's caught up to the 19th century. Yeah. Well, perhaps you're right. Good to see you again.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Oh, there's the Egyptian guy.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Thanks, Gabash.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing
I know, what a
us here.
jacket.
This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing yourself these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure.
Sounds about right,
and
man.
I have met many
He's got a
people
sweet
from many
jacket going
cultures.
on.
I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Sounds like you've been in it.
Indeed. Thank you, Oracle.
Alright, good to see he's not going on about just spouting constantly about how the Egyptians have covered up everything. Centilia.
Hello there.
Oh, okay, they did get right. Oh, Centilia.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name.
Looks like you're wearing a wig. Which monster?
You didn't hear? My adoptive father, Sentius, locked me up in the upper cistern to stop me from escaping. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me. And that
I do know which
got
monster.
what was coming to him.
Right, sounds like he got what he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You doing yourself?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that.
Thanks.
Hi.
You too.
Yo, what's up?
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
What are you doing yourself these
I'm living
days?
with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her.
Sticking with
in this
Ulpius, huh?
Extraordinary new world.
Sticking with Ulpius,
all its
huh?
beauty, and I think
you could have
I'd given
changed
up
to
hope?
anything. You stuck with Ulpius. It was like
We
Gulpius.
missed out on all of this.
His eyes are
So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way.
Banging.
Sitting together
Oh.
on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost
Banging like
drinkable now.
fucking rabbits. I mean,
watching the sunset.
Drinking wine.
Over the rolling hillside. And I
just going ham.
couldn't be happier.
Just pounding like 2 sacks of meat in the sun. Slippity slap, sloppity slip.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Oh, thank you.
You too.
Rufus and Fisher. Oh, I like it. Now
It's so nice to finally meet
now
you.
his hair actually
I've heard
fits.
so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there, and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff,
Oh, they two together
but
now.
once
I
you
like
get
that.
past that, he's a lovely fellow.
Do yourself these days.
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated,
God, that
accepting
image,
people.
yeah.
You natives
Sorry, that
of
was
the 21st
way too
century
visual,
have no
wasn't it?
idea how fortunate you are.
Like meat in the sweat.
You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Yeah, come on there.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you too, Rufus.
I go by Rufus now. New start. new
Oh,
name.
Rufus. Okay. I always call him Rufus
and,
anyway.
Thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
He dropped a whole letter. He's a new man. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
You're right, the statues really were watching us.
Good to know. Anyway, it was good
Very
practice
true.
for the new world.
Very true, Rufus. Very true.
Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
That is unfortunately true. See you again.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
That was very nice. I very much like the fact you got to see everyone afterwards. It was really nice. I like it when you get the here's what happened to everyone kind of thing, you know?
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that.
Almost everyone.
Now,
Eh,
there's one more
everyone
person I
knows.
wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were whispering to me all along.
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I
Single,
was
by
able
the
to
way.
control their tongues.
I'm in. Say
and
no
whisper
more.
to you when he was
I'm in.
distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic.
You
There
have
are only
years,
ever
you have
brief windows in which I
lifetimes of
could speak to you without
experience.
being
You can teach me things I don't even know that people can do with their bodies. I am in. Let's go. You could, thank you. You created the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive.
At
So
least
I
you
tried
Kama
to give
Sutra.
them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier, he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We are all fortunate you came along when you did.
Became a Pluto.
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
Became a coward.
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we
Yes,
will.
all the cocktail stokes in the
One day.
left ear. Nice meeting you.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
She created the Amazon game New World. Yeah.
Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend.
Oh.
Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned,
It's
none
a
came
couple
close
of
to
copy-pasted
achieving
people.
what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
The old ones too. Yeah, this is the end of the game. I like that ending. That was actually a good ending. That was a very good. A lot of games really fucking ruin the ending. They like totally just. They just fall over and collapse at the ending. But that was a really good ending. Yeah, I kind of want to try talking Pluto down. I also wouldn't mind talking to everyone. I don't imagine it'll change much, but I'll just skip for the dialogue quickly at the end to see if anything changes. I guess this is another game where if you know what you're... No, I don't know if you could do this in one cycle. No. I wonder if you could do it in... If you know exactly what you're doing, but I think there's definitely a couple of things that you need in order to, you'd need a couple of things in order to get some stuff. You did in 4 and you got the achievement for the least amount of cycles. Oh, okay. Yeah, certain items you need to get in ways that would reset the cycle. Thinking that, I think that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I got very into the story and the characters in that. They did a very good job at making those characters people that I actually cared and were interested about. Like I'm super glad I got to like know what they all got up to, or at least the ones I gave a shit about. the one who was peeling stuff, I barely even. You saw her once, so I didn't want too interested in that. But yeah, I'm super glad I got to do that. That's really good. I'm gonna fart now. Oh my god. That was a hell of a fart. Maybe you do the Golden Pass section during your last cycle. I don't. I doubt she'd appear anyway, to be honest. I fart a lot. Farting's a normal thing.
And that's the way the news goes.
I'm not.
This game
It's good,
has
Batman, because I won't
characters
be.
you like so much you'll remember their names, like Dopey.
Game has characters you like so much you remember their names, like Dopey. Exactly, old Dopey. You can finish the game without getting the golden bow. Well, this way. I mean, I know you can end the game in the other ways, but... I guess you could, because most of the ways have ways you can get stuff through by talking to them. Yeah, if you want to do a speedrun, you just walk up to centers and shoot them immediately. Any percent. Pong. That was good. I enjoyed that. Twitter. Wee. Do a quick follow. I really like the music in this as well. That was so good.